What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video with your boy, Irie Futures. Now, in today's video, I will be continuing the segment of the Irie Foundations. And for those of you that are new, the Irie Foundations is a playlist that I've created for beginner traders to come to. If they know nothing about trading, they could watch these videos first and then get into all the other videos outside of the Irie Foundations. So, highly recommend checking out the Irie Foundations videos. Traders that want to learn from me from scratch, you don't know anything, and I'm breaking down all the basics of trading. So with that being said, today's video will be about time frames and sessions. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. So first things first, what are the different time frames that you could use? Now, time frames can range from 1 second all the way to a year. But scratching all that, let's get straight into the ones that you should be worried about. Now, you should be worried about minutes, hours, and days. Just be worried about minutes, hours, and days. And again, this is an unedited video, so if I'm pausing a little bit or anything like that, just go ahead and skip just a little bit. Not too much, you don't want to miss information. So, these are the different time frames you can use. Now, a time frame is how much information is in one candle. Okay, so right now I am on the 1 hour time frame, which means that each of these candles represent a whole hour. Okay, if I drop down to the 1 minute, each of these candles represent 1 minute, right? Which is why this timer's right here is counting down. Okay. So now going through the different time frames and what they mean to me is the 1 minute is all about is speed. You know, it's scalpers. Usually scalpers use the 1 minute. But the only thing about the 1 minute is it is very noisy. A lot goes on in the 1 minute. Sometimes your indicators and zones don't really hold because it's the 1 minute. It doesn't hold much weight, but when you do enter on the 1 minute, 9 times out of 10, you are entering sniper entries because you can enter right on the money with the 1 minute. Okay. Now my personal favorite, which is the 5, right? So the 5 minute, you can also get these great entries, but it's not as noisy as the 1 minute. Okay. And then we go 15. They are the same thing as the 5, but again, less noisy, and you could potentially miss some setups with the 15. And then we go 1 hour, right? 4 hour, and then those are just my personal favorites, and I will get into why they are my favorites in this video. So again, these are your different time frames and things like that. Now, you want to break your time frames up into, you could either do 2 different or 3 different categories. And those categories being your higher time frame, your lower time frame, and then your entry time frame. Okay. So with that being said, a higher time frame, I use a higher time frame, which usually would be in the hours, to give me direction and bias and what I should be looking for or what to trade for the day, like what direction I should be trading for the day, basically. So my higher time frame, as you can see, the ones that have the stars are my 1 hour, sometimes 4 hour. Okay. Now you can use any of these, whichever one that you like more. And I'll get into why these are my time frames as well, because certain time frames confluence better with certain time frames, right? So, so the 1 hour and the 4 hour I use as my higher time frames. These time frames tell me the bias and just overall structure in general. Now, I don't do too much on these time frames because, again, they're just letting me know where price wants to go, right? And where we are. Okay. So my lower time frame is going to be in the minutes. The lower time frame could be from 45 to probably 10. It all depends on you. But me personally, I could range from the 15 to 30 minute. Okay. Now with this time frame, I'm looking for zones and things of that nature. I'm looking for zones, potential pullback areas, targets like highs and lows to target and things like that. That's what I'm looking for on this lower time frame, okay? And even ranges, you know, like you could consider this a range or something like this. Even ranges, whatever, right? So this lower time frame, again, is just me looking for certain zones and areas price has to fill and things like that, okay? Now, let's say I mark a zone up on this time frame and price comes and taps into it, right? Let's say I mark this zone right here, this little gray candle. Mine just isn't like an exact trade I'll take. I'm just giving y'all an example. So y'all see the zone I marked. So if price comes to this zone that I had marked, then I'll drop down to my entry time frame. This is where my entry time frame comes into play. Now, on my entry time frame, I'm looking for how price reacts to my lower time frame zone. Because this, again, it's called an entry time frame for a reason. I'm going to enter on this time frame, depending on how these candles look when it comes into my zone. So as you see, it came into the zone and it got an instant reaction. It did a reversal. It started going, it was gray candles, bearish, came into my zone, and price started going bullish. This is what I look for on my entry time frames, are reactions to candles and liquidity grabs and things like that. So this trade would have hit. Again, this isn't an exact trade. I'm not showing y'all. I would have took this setup. I'm just giving y'all an example. So entry time frame, again, I'm just looking for how the candles react to my lower time frame zone so I can see if it's valid to enter a trade. Okay. So yeah, so now getting into what time frames like have the most confluence, right? So after, my years of experience in trading, 3 time frames I have the best confluence, and which is my personal favorite, is 1 hour, 15, 5, right? 1 hour higher time frame, 15-minute lower time frame, 5-minute entry. Okay. Another one you could do is 4 hour higher, 1 hour lower, and 15 entry. Okay. Cool. Another one, which is more so for sniper entries, is 15-minute higher. I know, bear with me. 15-minute higher, 5-minute lower, and then 1-minute entry. Okay. Or you could even do 30-minute higher with 1-minute entry. I've used that one as well, and that one works pretty well. And then last but not least, you could go daily. A daily is just one full day to a 1 hour lower and a 15-minute entry. So those are the 3. Of course, you have other time frames. Again, like some people may ask, oh, what if I want to use the 5-minute lower time frame but 3-minute entry? They're not really giving you much difference on what you're seeing. Like this is a 3-minute, and then you could go to a 5. Like it's dang near the same thing. I don't know why I just switched to look mad different, but it's literally the same thing because it's very close in time. You don't really want to do that, But again, whatever works best for you, you do what you want. You feel me? Trading is very personal. Now, getting into sessions, there are different sessions. You have New York, you have Asian, and then you have London. Okay. So what do these sessions mean? So New York session, which is my personal favorite, that's when the New York Stock Exchange opens. And the reason it's my personal favorite is because of the high volatility. So it has a lot of volume, which means price moves way more and way more bigger and things like that. It's just very active. In the way I trade, I need my session to be active. Okay. Next up is Asian. I'm gonna go in order. So London is the earliest. Then we go Asian session. Asian session is usually slower, because the New York Stock Exchange people are asleep, so you're trading with, people in another country, and this is Asian session. It's usually slower, and it ranges a little bit, but the Asian session, it could be used for marking highs and lows of the session, because 9 times out of 10, London and New York will take out these highs and lows from this session. Okay. Now, last but not least is London session. London session, I'm in the West Coast, so it's later at night. It's like midnight. It starts at midnight. This is London session. Now, London session, if I didn't trade New York, I would trade London. London probably has the second best volatility, and London is good for like liquidity grabs and continuation. So if you like to hold your trades, you'll be able to catch a nice setup on London that will run for a little while. Now, the only thing is, when it comes to New York, from what I experienced, New York likes to sometimes undo what London session did. For example, if London is bullish, right? If London is very bullish, New York, 9 times out of 10, will be bearish, right? Just to make all the money, just to take all the money that London did, and then it will go in the direction where it's supposed to go. Or even for the whole session, it may just go, right? Let me try and find a London session for you guys. So like, I believe right here, yeah, so this is 10 o'clock. I think this is my time. This is either 10 o'clock New York or my time. I'm 3 hours. But even right here, right? You have all this bearish, okay? And then New York open in here. So this gray box is, London, right? And then New York open, 9 o'clock. So let's just go with this candle to 10 o'clock. And you see what it did? Literally came back, right? So this is London, right? This bearish move is London. New York comes in, and now it's bullish. So that's the thing. That's the thing with the sessions as well, is sometimes they undo what the other session did and things like that. So, I have my notes over here. That's why I'm looking. Oh, okay. So times when not to trade during these sessions. I don't recommend trading right before New York open, in my opinion, because it's very, very unpredictable, and 9 times out of 10, it's looking for people to take out and then go in the direction, right? A lot of people lose when holding trades over New York session opens, which is 6:30 a.m. and it's just real unpredictable. So I don't recommend holding your trades past that New York open. Now, I don't know if the same thing happens with the London session open or the Asian session open. But again, because I trade New York, I just know that tends to be a problem. So just to go over everything again. So real quick, you have your time frames. Now, your time frame is how much information is in that one candle. So on a 1 hour time frame, you have 1 hour worth of information in this candle. Okay. 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, you have, it's the same thing as information in the one candle. Now, you have your higher time frame, which could be any of these or even any of these. Then you have your lower time frames, which could be any. Honestly, these time frames could be whatever you want. Honestly, like some people's lower time frame, like I said before, lower time frame could be one of these hourlies. It just depends what type of trader you are. Either you're going to be day, swing, or scout. So if you're a swing trader, then you'd probably enter your entry time frame will be on the 1 hour. You feel me? Because you're swinging it, you're holding it, right? Scalper, your entry time frame would be a mad lower, probably about 1 to 5 minute. And then day trader, your entry time frame probably be 15, probably 30. It literally just depends on you, right? So I can't really label these as higher, lower, and entry, but I can say that you need to have a higher, lower, and entry, whatever that may be for you. Now, that pretty much concludes the video. But yeah, y'all, so that concludes today's video. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comments down below. I will get to you as quick as possible. And don't forget, keep everything irie. Catch you on the next one.